I'll read. Flag. Flag and follow me. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Yes, right here. We're very fortunate in Santa Ana. We did this pretty big path last year. City plans, but with that is taking a look at where our locations. The young lady who has that duty, you're going to say what you're doing.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everyone, for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure to be with you. My name is Siri Champion. I'm a senior planner for the City of Santa Ana Advanced Planning Division. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the zoning code update that I was just mentioning. So the zoning code is part of the City of Santa Ana's municipal code. And it seeks to regulate what kind of uses or what we can do on a property and what we can't do on a property. So one example is determining what kind of land uses can be located there, and what kind of how development can be constructed over time. So the zoning code update involves a comprehensive review and reformatting of everything in the code. This hasn't happened for about a few decades, so it's time for us to correct the new residential update. The program includes the creation of new zoning designation and development standards for 5 focus areas distributed throughout the city. Public engagement is a key component of the project. As such, we're partnering with 2 community-based organizations so that we can ensure an extensive reach into the neighborhoods of these community members that live on the ground throughout the city. We invite you to encourage neighborhood leaders and associations participate in the concept and actually help us get their boots on the ground so that we can be reaching those community members. That will happen through an outreach and engagement program that includes a wide range of activities, and I hope you'll be excited about participating with us in those activities. They could include door-to-door canvassing, community walks, focus groups, evening at neighborhood events, presentations at neighborhood association meetings, and many more specific technology. So we'll work with the community-based organizations and the neighborhood associations to develop a plan for community engagement and participation. So the project is anticipated to take about 18 months. We're kicking off in November. We anticipate adopting the zoning code update in winter, spring of 2025. So thank you for the opportunity to give that brief overview. Are there any questions before I close?
Do you want to go?
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Working with totally because over the years I've had a plan. To try out interesting things. And we have a land commission right now looking forward to do that. So worked out changes to that work. Also very fortunate tonight and we're gonna have Marguerite explaining to us what's happening in carbon justice. You haven't heard about it, it's story competition, 5 words. Want to feel it up on the suburbs.
Is Lisa going or is she?
And Congress is not looking to try those of you that are in Ward 3, we have recall election. Any member of Congress decide on the first vote, they're feeling us. They're like, you can't even have common core for neighborhood association. They have to say about it, is over you in Ward 3, we don't know. They're important, for the city. And, recall elections to satisfy the constitution.
At the Zoom. Remember, speaking to the mic so that the folks, when we upload it to make the people can hear the content, so. Hi, everyone, I was here last month, and I'm here again. Yay! All right, I'm Margarita. It's been a year since I was promoted to the city. I've been here for 16 plus years. And so I'm currently a principal community planner for the neighborhood initiatives and environmental services. I call it a department because now I have more staff, which is great. But it really functions to expand the services that we were providing to our neighborhoods. So a lot of you, we work with you on a number of projects and capacity building support. But now there's a special focus on environmental justice, right? And you hear about it a lot. You hear about it at the nationwide level, you hear about it at a neighborhood level. And so it means a lot of things to different people. So today, I'm going to go through just a brief outline. We're going to cover a little bit about what is environmental justice. What do agencies define it as? What do we as a city, how do we explain it? We're going to cover about the general plan update. Survey, our senior planner, covered a little bit about the focus on updating the zoning codes, right, which is important. But we also have some environmental justice policies and implementation actions that are part of the work of the planning division to carry out working with the community. And we have achieved some accomplishments to date. There's a lot that's happened over the past year. So I'm so excited to share those updates with you. So let's move to the next slide. Or the next slide. Okay, so this slide, it talks about what is environmental justice? How did the city define it in our general plan? So we're talking about areas, communities that have a disproportionate burden of pollution. We're talking about more exposure to having health risks. Also, just the need to have more investment in public projects, ensuring that the community is involved and they're able to influence some of the programs, policies that are being considered in their area. That's really important. It's nothing new for the city of Santa Ana. Many of you have been involved in sharing your voice, encouraging your neighborhoods to speak up when it comes to a number of projects. But this is more looking at, where are the neighborhoods in our area that have a little bit more of that exposure, and how can we work with them to get some of the policies to focus on those areas. So that's just one example, but we also have other components or other agencies at the state and federal level that also cover, what is environmental justice? They reference being fair, having some meaningful involvement, all people are with respect to when you have laws being developed, adopted, projects being implemented, enforcement of the laws and regulations. And so that's how some of the, that's how the California Environmental Protection Agency defines it. And for the US Environmental Protection Agency, really they're looking at, the degree of protection that everyone needs to be protected at the same degree from, having any risk or hazards to their health. And that everyone has equal access to the decision making, so it's trying to level the playing field. It's nothing new for the city of Santa Ana. It's something that we've valued for decades in our neighborhoods program, making sure that our neighborhoods are well informed about a lot of these environmental justice and other projects that affect them or that could have an impact to them, so that they can speak up through the process and they don't find out the first time it's on a council agenda. So that's really important for the city. So we're gonna go beyond definitions and we're gonna break it down a little bit more of environmental justice in one of our neighborhoods. So many of you know Logan. The Logan neighborhood is one of the oldest neighborhoods, Bonneville, right? That is how a lot of people connect with the Logan neighborhood. And it's very close to us from where we're at right here. So we just wanted to highlight, there's been an environmental injustice in the Logan neighborhood with one facility, and it's a crematory. Some of you see it when you're driving to the train station, when you're driving on the freeway. It looks big, but it's not. It's not according to the feedback that we received from residents of the Logan neighborhood, in particular, the president, Joan Rodney, who many of you have seen here at common meetings. So, when we're talking about the crematory, you see it, thank you, Christian. So that's where it's at. So it's adjacent. We have some houses that's being built here. We have the train station here. Have some other industrial businesses, just to give you some context. And we have Chipmunk's Park that I want to close by. So this is a bird's eye view, but now we're going to go into an incident that you probably have heard, but if not, we wanted to make you aware. So on August 29th, so we're talking about almost 2 months ago, we received some video. It was not just us, but it was your council members. It was a lot of people on the email chain that Mr. Andrade sent this. This took place at 9:18 p.m. on Tuesday, August 29th. And so there's video of flames coming out. People reported it as a fire authority responded. But we wanted to play a video just to give you just a closer sense of what was going on. And we also have a little bit of the sound file. I don't know, Christian, if you can, it's the little black box to play.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Screeching sound. And they only captured 18 seconds of it. But look at the flames.
I'll play one more time. There we go.
You see the flames, the dust, we only have it happening at 9:18 at night. So residents in the local neighborhood are very concerned. There's a fire breaking out. What can we do? Who do we call? And so we learned that, yes, the fire, 911 was called. There are a couple of calls to 911. And it turned out that there was some kind of mechanical issue of the crematory. But you can at least imagine how unsettling this is for a neighborhood who already has an issue with operators like that, and knowing that something goes wrong, and what is the risk of living next to a facility like that, and maybe other types of businesses. So that brings it home, right? That brings it home because we were thinking about the families, what are the safety protections. So and there are a lot of agencies that have different roles. So the city issues a permit for the operator to have a business there, but because they're handling chemicals, right? They're in this case a crematory. They also receive a permit to operate from AQMT, which is the South Coast Air Quality Management District. And so they're also issuing permits for construction, permits to operate. And anytime there's an air quality issue, it really is that agency that people need to call. Well, it turns out nobody was reporting it to the that evening. So when we got an email about it, the very next morning, we did the process, we made an online complaint. And we also contacted the state's, this is part of the Consumer Business Bureau, it's the Cemetery Funeral Bureau, and they issue a license to this operator to function. So we wanted to understand, okay, there's been a fire here, and it turned out this is the second fire like this year. So is there anything that they can review? So we're learning about other agencies' responsibility and oversight when it comes to concerns and quality issues like this one. So this is that's how it affects the neighborhood, right? It's an injustice, and the city is committed to do something about it. Last year, the city council, as Carl mentioned, they passed the general plan, and one of the requirements of the general plan was actually complying with the state law, Senate Bill 1000, which required cities to be able to address environmental justice in their general plan. And so the city has decided to do that. Instead of having like a chapter dedicated to environmental justice, we're integrating it into the different elements, the different chapters of our general plan. But we have 77 environmental justice related policies, and that's part of the work of our office. Part of my responsibility is to manage where everything's at, to make sure we're connecting with the agencies that have a role in environmental justice, with our colleagues in other city departments, and more importantly, with the community, to start educating neighborhoods who are within these disadvantaged communities, which are defined by the state based on some analysis tools that they have that they know that you are more susceptible, you're more burdened to environmental issues. And so we have other tools that we come up with to help neighborhoods understand what an environmental justice community is. We have a number of census tracts. One census tract that are considered environmental justice disadvantaged communities, and a lot of them affect the neighborhood. Heard that we're looking for applications to serve on the environmental justice action committee. So those are from these areas. Some of them become this part of the neighborhoods, others do not. But nevertheless, there's a benefit of having everyone a little more informed about it and how to address it more importantly. So one of the first things that we were able to help understand is put together the different databases of these other agencies to help us see, okay, what kind of permits are being issued to some of these businesses, some of these industrial businesses, and where do I see it concentrated? And some of that is based on whatever the area was zoned for in the past. And so there are some areas, I do want to point to the Oregon area. So that's the South Basin Groundwater Protection Project area that the water district has been, right now they have a public comment period open to identify where the draft environmental impact report, but also looking at areas that we need to study, including alternatives to clean up that area. It has to do with the types of businesses that were there before. There wasn't as regulation, right, to prevent anybody from dumping chemicals into the ground, as an example. So we have a number of those businesses that are working with other state agencies to clean up any contaminated groundwater on their site that may have continued to seep and commingled with other areas. So we're learning more about that, and we're connecting those agencies with the neighborhoods that are affected. So what's resulted is a groundwater plume here, groundwater contaminated plume that's traveling. It does not affect the drinking water. That's the first question that we ask, and that the city of Santa Ana is not, does not have any wells in that area that's servicing it. There's actually Irvine Ranch water wells that have been closed. Because of the issues, so there are businesses, there's neighborhoods, there's confusion, so part of the job is to really help clarify what that means, who can you talk to, what kind of resources are there to educate homeowners who probably been living there for a long time and have no clue, that there's a groundwater contamination issue. So these maps have been helpful to at least help to tell the story and to make connections about the number of agencies that are issuing permits and what's accurate and how can we follow up. So that's one of the first tools that we made available. We have a dedicated environmental resources page where this is one tool that you can look at. The other thing that come up with events that there's a need to also explain how, the city is not the only entity that's responding to complaints, right? There's also environmental justice complaints, code enforcement complaints. So we're doing, we're refining this flyer just to provide education at the schools, at your neighborhoods, about how to report air quality complaints, how to report fire hazard complaints, storm drain pollution that may be going on in your neighborhood. Again, you don't have to be an environmental justice community to do that, right? These are the kind of services and agencies that are responding to it. So for us, it's important, just like we hear in other departments, like we want to report, we want to get it in the system, we want to get it tracked, so that there's some accountability on why things aren't happening. Sound familiar? They're hearing great with the department. So that's another tool. I did want to start going into some of the work that we've been doing over the past year. And before I talk about accomplishments and things that we're working on, some of you have noticed that we're starting to push out our plans to the neighborhood association and the leaders, the planning for the next year, right? Planning for 2023, planning for 2024. We really, because we're taking on a little bit more responsibility, it doesn't mean that we're stopping to do some things for the neighborhood. We want to continue to provide you with a lot of the support that's needed so that you can also build your networks, build your organization and the neighborhoods to be able to accomplish more. So I'm doing that with the staff that I have, but we're also doing that in the form of meetings. So we look forward to other upcoming things that we want to offer, including conflict resolution, right, in the neighborhoods, dealing with situations. There are also other trainings on how to report environmental issues and just any other updates that the city may want to share with you all. The other thing is some neighborhoods who had funds deposited into their accounts to do like second outreach, who couldn't get a chance to do so because of COVID. We're also working with them, but as you know, there are more funding sources available to our neighborhoods now than before. We have the arts and culture funding, you've got the city council, they have special event funding. So if you are not a nonprofit, that's okay. We have tools right now. That's how we're trying to channel our neighborhood leaders to use those tools. So you can access funds, resources to support any special event type of or program that you want to do in your neighborhood. So I just wanted to caveat that before I started going into the different work that we've accomplished over the past year. But I talked about the facility maps that are on the environmental resources page. We established a connection with the U.S. Attorney's Office. There is an environmental justice coordinator who represents the region, like from Bakersfield area going southbound. And so we've been able to connect with her, Amanda Bettinelli. And so she's very interested in raising the profile, getting things on the radar to a lot of the state agencies, or even like the regional agencies, so that there is more attention to issues happening in neighborhood, in neighborhoods that are affected by facilities, polluters, etc. We've also been able to focus more on in the Delhi area, because you have a number of industrial businesses that are still figuring out their timelines and working with other state agencies on cleaning up the contaminated groundwater on their site. There's still a gap in terms of what the city doing. How can they be informed? Who can they talk to help them understand when the cleanup is happening? Why is it taking so long? So all of those types of conversations involve time, right? Time to bring in those agencies to share updates and to help work with the neighborhoods there to prioritize. Well, we want to know what's happening with sharing those things. Or we want to know this other business. Why is it taking so long? And what does the cleanup mean? What chemicals? And even though each agency that has a responsibility for monitoring cleanups, they all have websites, right? They're all populated, but it's too much information to help break it down for our neighborhood association. Who are volunteering their time, they're just trying to kind of get a better sense of what it means for them, for their families, and how can they raise the profile? How can they engage other neighborhoods and add pressure to the operators, add pressure to the agencies, add pressure to the city about how soon cleanups can be done and at what point, so that there is no risk to other things like our drinking water, as an example. So that's it, a little bit of that collaboration. We hear a lot about lead, right? There's been a lot of work from community advocacy groups here in Santa Ana, and even just in general, the nation about childhood, lead, poisoning, exposure, getting a better sense on what should we know about lead. You've heard about it before, but what is it that, how can we test more families? How can we understand our baseline? I know that the state has data available, but what is Santa Ana's experience? And we have an older house in stock. There might have been lead in the paint before, and that there are segments of the lower income neighborhoods, and so right now we're working with a healthcare agency and their contractor to do some for those families who qualify. They can do free lead testing. They can do the cleanup for the households. And that will help, but it's hard to get people to trust, or they may not have the guidelines to qualify. But it's something that we can on promote. It's something that is very important to a lot of organizations. Residents are concerned, and they may not know how to access the healthcare system to get their child tested, or they may not even have the ability to do that. So we're trying to connect this work with our schools, with our churches, our neighborhoods, having a presence at different community events, so we can help educate families about this free service that they may not know about. And then in terms of the city's role, we've heard of noxious uses, right? Businesses like polluters that are affecting an area, and maybe in the past that was working, but now that there's more housing, or it's just a different landscape right now in terms of the city. It's important to look at what protections is the city putting forth that will help have policies in place that help not expand those kind of uses in areas that are near residential, parks, schools, like in the lowly neighborhood as an example. So Suri talked about the zoning code update, which is an 18-month process. We're going to look at updating all the zoning codes. As a city, we didn't want to wait till that process started. There were some actions that once we passed the general plan, or once the council did, we needed to incorporate some immediate steps to help get a better control about the kind of noxious uses in our neighborhoods. So there were two ordinances that were passed. One of them was the noxious use ordinance, where if you have a business that is discharging air contaminants, or they're processing these chemicals, and they have a permit from a regional, from a state, federal agency, And that business is within 1,000 feet, it's gonna be, as I said, that was recently updated to 1,000 feet from the sensitive land. Sensitive land means residential parks, pool. So if you're within 1,000 feet, then it requires a conditional use permit where it opens up the public hearing process. Community members can recommend conditions, and there's just more of a connection before we can have that. So you may not have known that this new business is operating and it's next to your school or next to your home. And so it just requires, it puts the onus on some of these operators to notify the city before they're applying for their state permit, so we can start tracking. And it also requires for the businesses to comply. And if they're not complying with what they're required in terms of a permit from another agency, then they're violating our and this. So that's a game changer to help kind of mitigate having these protections in place for our neighborhoods. The second action that was taken is a discontinuance of the non-conforming option. So there have been areas in the city where the codes haven't updated, they're special, and yet the idea was for this operator to, in time, not continue to operate because it was, it's too intense, right, for the neighborhood. And so the idea now is to move into that direction, is to require, to have the ability for us to discontinue those types of uses whenever there is a change. So in the past, there have been change of ownership, but there's no land use, oversight that we have because of that action. Now it's part of our zoning code cleanup, and we can apply that right now. If a business is in violation of any federal, state, local regulations for 60 days, or let's say they receive 3 non-compliant notices within a year, or we have a period of 90 days that they're in non-compliance, that's enough grounds for us to do something about it in terms of our oversight. That didn't exist before, and it was something that our director that did not have to wait for 2 years to do anything. We can do something immediately. So this is already in place, just so you know. We continue to learn that there's a lot of faculty and graduate students and undergraduate students at Irvine and other campuses who have an interest right now in environmental justice. So tonight, there's actually a stakeholder forum, an environmental justice stakeholder forum that's being organized by the Madison Park Neighborhood Association. They have getting residents empowered and engaged in neighborhoods. They are hosting their quarterly stakeholder meeting, and so they are also working with the faculty at UCI and some other organizations to try to raise the profile about promoting this. But they did have a message for, I was in some discussion with them with the Commonwealth Board, because they know that the Commonwealth Board is interested in fireworks and environmental impacts, right, of fireworks. So I know that there is some future collaboration that we want to work with you on regarding fireworks and impacts to neighborhoods. Moving on, this is a photo of a pool pavement approach. It's like it's a sealant that helps it helps control the urban heat effects. So you have a lot of cities that are really creative because they may not have a lot of trees, but when it's hot, and so sometimes it may be too hot for people in our parks or our neighborhoods. What we did is we applied for community development block grant funding, and we received it to try this pilot project. So we worked with our public works parks division to figure out are there any areas that are environmental justice neighborhoods and where we can try this out. I mean, let's say in the future as students are getting prepared, this may be something to do that. If we're not there, we just want to see if there is support from the neighborhoods to try this out and to see if there really is an effect in the temperature. Right, when you have a regular asphalt overlay on your your parking at a park versus something that has a full pavement approach. So we did some research and yeah, we're trying it out. So we're folding it into some park improvements at both of the parking lots at Madison Park and the other one is Commonwealth Park, the company by neighborhood. So yeah, we're making updates and we're gonna find out how that works. And so we're excited, but this is how Davis is using it. So it would be something similar because we're talking about a parking lot, not the residential community yet. But these are just creative, things like, okay, let's get our thinking houses, try to see how we can access money that will have a direct benefit to our neighborhoods, and to see if there's even buy-in to expand that, or to try it out in other areas. And then we also have the formation of the Environmental Justice Action Committee. So this is a really important group that, and it's something that's required in our general plan, PJ policy 177, where we need to have residents involved in helping to provide us with some priorities to provide us with guidance in terms of how we're going to work together, getting the community-based organizations involved, getting other organizations or the colleges to help support my technical support to take on these PJ policies. That's the next step. We have been extending the application. We have some here for those of you who may live in the environmental justice area. And so the deadline is the deadline is 11:59 tonight. So we've been trying to do it. No rush. However, if you think this would be of interest to you, we have an online application. Christian brought the printed applications, and we're really glad to take them. It's not an essay, it's just, we're trying to gauge interest from residents who live in these more urban areas. The recent one, this is a great one. We applied for a grant with SCAG, the Southern California Association of Governments. And they had a grant available for civic engagement, environmental justice, program equity, and we applied to help in our community engagement with our zoning to an updated project that we talked about. And we were selected. And so the thing about these grant programs now is that they require you to partner with a community-based organization. So we partnered with the Kennedy Commission. Some of you have heard of the Kennedy Commission. They were involved in the general plan of creating a housing element. They're working directly with some of our neighborhoods. And then Charitable Ventures is the other nonprofit that we partnered with. And Charitable Ventures have supported our neighborhoods that are not 501c3. They provide that fiscal sponsorship support so that it'll open up opportunities in areas. These are so this is taken from our general plan, but with the zoning code update, it gives us an opportunity of working on the 5 focus areas. You all remember when we had earlier meetings about just getting a sense of what kind of what you would want to see in these areas in terms of future development. So we're going to focus on those 5 areas, but with the grant, it'll help us work with the neighborhoods in that area to try to, again, deepen the outreach. There's ways to help compensate neighborhood folks who are already outreaching with their volunteer time, or they need materials, or just other ways to get people more informed. We want to try it out, and so we were supported. So we're really excited with this grant, and how it will help us to demonstrate that there's value in working side by side with our neighborhoods when it comes to projects like this are going to affect your families, your refugees, your communities. And this is the map that I was talking about. So we try to capture the census tract areas that may cut across some of your neighborhood to get folks to apply. So we have 5 environmental justice clusters, 1 resident from each cluster, and when the residents are selected, they will select the 2 community-based organizations that, based on the applications, There will be a staff representative, there will be myself, since this is the only role here in the city. And then a representative from the healthcare agency to help explain a lot of that health effects and connecting this group with the right departments in the healthcare agency. And the idea is to provide finance to collaborate on implementing the environmental justice policy, the actions. So we look forward to start this team in January. And yeah, the first order of business for the residents is like their 2 days certification.
Should it be January 2024?
You're right. I must be going back in time. January 2024, I will express. So I also wanted to share that this is the team, right? This is the neighborhood initiatives environmental services team. I recently brought on Lizette in the middle. So, you know, Lizette grew up in Santa Ana. She graduated from Santa Ana High School. Christian lives in Santa Ana. Frank lives in Santa Ana. Karen lives in Santa Ana. Alyssa grew up in Santa Ana. So, you know, great staff. Really care about the work that we're doing, and so they are. I'm working with them so they can help, or we can help them our best collectively to do this work, but also continue to support our communities. And so there is no IT, right? You all know that. So this is the team, right? And so we're just very grateful that the neighborhoods program has been with the city for 40 years at least. And so it's pretty impactful with it's important work, and we will need all of your help. We also want to continue to encourage you to strengthen your relationships with the different directors of the departments. People will need to have these conversations that maybe in the past we've been like the connector, but I think now, given that the neighborhoods program has been going on for 4 years, it's really time to elevate your presence and the impacts that you want to make in your neighborhoods. And it starts here, connecting with each other, but also, you know, continue to hold us all accountable that those forward that probably happen more with you and the city and the city. All of that was
Great job, Margarita.
no, that was for background, right? You mentioned ideas of the top there that going to be water delivery. I don't know, but the water well that was shut down, the Irvine Branch water well, is the one behind Cherry Aerospace. So it's right there by Halliday and Adam moving around there. So it's just south of Warner. Adam is on every and that's the one that was shut down. And it's not our water well, it's Irvine Ranch. So what happened was some time ago, they noticed samples, that's why we shut it down, because it was based on the groundwater. So it was immediately shut down, but that water well does not service city of Santa Ana.
Yeah, there's one, it's inactive right now, we're right now going through and revitalizing it. Well, 32,
Okay,
yeah.
Is part of this planting trees?
yes. So one of the policies is, yes, we look at, we work with our Parks Department and Public Works on tree preservation and tree planting. So, you know, that's another great thing. Environmental justice means a lot of things, but I think everyone here gets the gist, right? So if there are any grants or any opportunities where we think we can better enhance it, the environment, doesn't matter what area you live in, let us know. So Bessie, if you think, you know what, I heard about this grant, and I really think that it should be something that the city should consider or think about or partner, let us know, we wanna know about this, yes. Any other questions?
Yes, okay, I'll ask, in Morrison Park, there is a piece of land between the backyards of some people and our tennis courts. And it's just been empty for years. Unfortunately, some people use it as their bathroom. And other things. And at our general meeting, we were talking with Public Works, because right now there's no plan, they're doing all this work in the park, but there's no plans for that section. Is this something that we were talking as a neighborhood, maybe we can plant trees, cause a buffer, maybe between the tennis courts and the backyards to houses? Do something there to improve that area. Would this be one of the things I go to you for, or should I go to Public Works?
Well, if it's the city land, it would be Public Works, if it's connected to a farm, however, if there is a grant that Morrison Park, let's say you don't have a 501c3, but you found that there's a grant that's being offered to do some kind of landscape or, drought tolerant, or whatever the improvement is. And Public Works is willing to try to do something like that because it's not as big to do this other park, whatever, this expansion. So, yes, Morrison Park wanting to pursue a grant, we would call our office, but vet it out with Public Works first because the buy-in is needed. And then at that point, we can figure out, okay, so that's when we use the charitable ventures as a tool to do the application, because they would be the fiscal sponsor, but we know it would benefit the Morrison Park neighborhood. That's an example.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Lisa, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
It's okay, no, I came in late, so I do apologize.
Yes. Right, it's not, it's just some of the census tracts, but that doesn't mean that, whatever happens won't benefit the area. Right, so if there's any like projects or just, issues that have need to be brought up, that's okay. This is not meant to be an exclusive conflict at all. It just helps us to get the residents that can be most impacted involved. Because we move to the greater part. So even like residents from there that may be available to apply for this, I get that for 30 years. Yeah.
So how much time do you expect us to take to? Still from the resident? That's a week, how many times a week, a month?
Not a week, that's too much. But at least I think it'll be up to the residents kind of figuring out what's gonna work best, because they're volunteering their time, right? So we need to meet them halfway and kind of, we need to figure out if it's monthly or bi-monthly, but even in each week, there's gonna be a learning curve for all of us, because it's a different way of working together. It really is. It's not like, oh, this is the city's project. No, it's like, no, you are here, you're helping us. What are the impacts? What is the greatest, like, where would you prioritize starting with the 77 PJ policies? Any other questions?
You're gonna have to define it, usually public.
Yes. Issue? Yeah, but it's not just limited to the issues, but yeah, that's one in that area. Yeah, there's no other area with groundwater contamination because it's been on the radar right now. The Orange County Water District has a feasibility study and they're doing a draft environmental impact. It's on our, you know, Alyssa, she sent out the neighborhood newsletter. Notices every Wednesday. So there's a section on the OC Water District, southeast and groundwater, and yeah, we're looking at alternatives and just other factors of the environmental analysis. But it's not just limited to that. Oh, yeah, so we have, Christian, if you wanna go back,
What slide?
yeah, so If you wanted, we have the Environmental Justice Action Committee. We also have the Environmental Resources Page, those are two of them, where we'll be able to share updates on what's being discussed. Committee, Access Committee, to keep people informed. And then we are neighbors newsletter, constant contact, you'll also be informed on what's on.
It's very good. What are they going to punishment ground? We will get. They did you something to time for the war and the time and things that were done in the period of our issues that do that.
Yes, and there's a lot to learn. There are underground, storage tanks leaking. Underground storage tanks that, we are becoming more aware of, and we're trying to find out, okay, what does it take to enforce it? If it's not the city authority, how can we put pressure on whether it's the water board or the other agency to give us a better sense of cleaning it up? And so we are now getting notices from like HMD or even other agencies about any violation, and that is helping us to keep track so that if we see something in the pipeline that's going to plan check or that an application that we're receiving, it'll help us fight it too. So yeah, that's what we're also doing, strengthening our tools that we have right now at City Hall to keep an eye out for these types of things. And you can write it again. Well, thank you, everybody.
When things change in the as we don't consider. Interesting things happen. The one that's curious that I came across year 2000. The one day expanded, but that we were circle building in front of Bristol and when they doing the foundation, the common gas, full gas. We were fortunate that be, fortunately, all still good. It's but there are issues like this around the city. That's where great thing that the city is interested in, probably from the state, right from the city. We have these partners that have not been resolved for years. They're going to act to do that. That's why we brought up our research here. Please look at the website, forums, what's going on, and give your neighborhood, if you have any questions, if they heard the one seat, that could be a call, so that could be we are fortunate we're going to get an update on Santa Ana and 5, as well as one I hear from you.
And they're gonna try to get the cars in the back, but I'm not going to start. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Ms. Gonzalez Solomon. I'm the Director of Economic Community Center in Unified. I'm no longer the principal at Madison Elementary School since last year. I made a decision to move to the office, but I love what I do and I love working with families. And today I have Claudia with me. Claudia, you just want to recognize everyone more on these questions. And today we're just going to give you updates on things that have been going on in San Diego. We want to make sure that everybody knows that next week we're having the state of the breakfast. State of the district breakfast at Women's Banquet. It's going to be from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Everyone is welcome. You can go on our website. There's also, you can get a QR code if you can get it up on the screen, so you can sign up. We want to make sure that everybody knows great things that have been happening. We had some more inductees into the Hall of Fame for San Diego. And we also had Cedarstone High School was recognized by the state of California, the organization for school counselors, for having it some great program. We also have Principal Hernandez from Roosevelt Walker, recognized for a program called Project Legally. It's a STEAM program that we have here in San Antonio. And those of you that have not seen the Saddleback Sports Complex, it's pretty incredible. We have it over the week. And we also have media lab, digital media lab over the Saddleback. They now have YouTube studios, they have places where students can do podcasts, getting our students ready. Got that?
October.
That's right here.
Along with that, we wanted to let everybody know that we're having budget town hall meetings. We're having 3 in here, but they're not gonna be the same. Last time we had them, we go to the same information all 3. This year, we already got up to work. We're having one in December and one in March. And with that, we're going to be, with the budget town hall, we're going to be getting information after regulation, so we know how much money we have, it'll be where it's been spent, and everyone is welcome.
I'm sorry, what slide are you on?
I'm on budget from home. Sorry. Just so everyone can see, that's the new stadium at Saddleback High School. It's a beautiful stadium, everything, that you see is new, and the kids are so appreciative, of what they're able to be done there. The next one is going to show the YouTube studios and what they established for our career and technical education program. And then we have the dates of the budget town halls. We also have, we had a college and career fair where we had over 5,000 people at the San Antonio Zoo, and students were able to learn about colleges. They were also able to learn about different careers. As you can see, we had really specific programs for them, and it was for all kids, kindergarten, all the way to 12th grade. I'm gonna ask Patty that can do for next. We also have some community events, trunk or treats. There's like 20 schools, they're called trunk or treat events. So that if you know, we got invited to all of them, you guys have to kind of like the news to at the body. And also parents are they're having different lunches that are nice throughout the district.
Yeah, sure. So these are upcoming events, so we have, plenty of communities about different schools. They notice the traffic on Wednesdays, about to come on my day. So, let's look at, 1 o'clock, on Friday, Friday we have a state of the district practice convention. Everyone is welcome to the beginning, and it's gonna be an opportunity for our students to share where we are on this week and where we're going to go. And it's always a fun event that we look forward to every year. The holiday coming up, Saturday today, and then November 13th to 16th, we have our conferences. The board meeting coming up on November 15th, and then School Day, and then our Thanksgiving break. So things like the meeting and
Very nice. And we had over 50 schools who were recognized, no, we had 46 programs that were recognized through PBIS for their safety programs that they got at school. And you want to talk about commissions. And we're training by everyone's, I was selected to be here because I was representing. And so I'm going to continue to do work with them, but we're training Kyle also to be there again.
So some of the community resources in front, copies in the back. These are two that we publish every month. So one is our resources. So all of our 18 of our schools that post monthly food distribution, and the food distributions are open to the entire community. You don't have to have a child that attends the school or live within that neighborhood of the school. It's open to the entire community, and they can take place at 2 different schools on these different dates. And they provide different fresh produce items, shelf goods, and a lot of different items. We even had families that itemize all the money that they save for these food distributions, and they're like, hey, that's taking gas right now, so thank you for the distribution. And so we work the Second Harvest Food Bank for that. And then some other community resources are available on our district website and Facebook page. And they'll do different events happening in the community.
And towards some of the value distributions of the district office, we work with the setup collective. And sort of the distribution tries to get not only candidates and families, but also get into them, fresh produce, greens, milk, eggs.
And this plan, this is another thing with our district right now, with, the. Facility master plan. So we're working with building, with this organization that's taking in, partner input and surveys and what they would like to see in our schools and what our facilities. look like. And then these are some upcoming arts events, so we have, Valley is having their own notebook, tribute to, the Muertos at Valley High School, so they're having an event there. There's a football happening in downtown, we, collaborate on, always with the district, we just got an email today actually talking about the different altars that are gonna be in downtown. Lots of events, so we have there's one going on at the Walker Community Center, Fairhaven Memorial Park is having an event as well. Mexico Cultural de Mexico is having a show with others as well. And November 5th is Bowers Museum Mexican Theater Day. And then last night, we have our Project USD, share your own photos, so one of our campaigns in our district is about highlighting different alumni and students who are currently in the district and just sharing all that it is to be proud Senator Unified School District parents, students, alumni, and
And then in parts follow us, this is where you can get all the information about what's happening, things like that. Is anybody got any questions? Yes.
Do you have any update on the lawsuit brought by the ADL against the school board arising from their short-sighted decision to adopt the ethnic studies program?
I don't have an update right now, I can't speak to that at the moment, I have to get to one person. Yeah.
Any update or comment, I guess, Greenville Elementary was vandalized, 12 rooms damaged.
What I could tell you is, it wasn't our students' intent, and it was young children from another location, area. But, then as a school didn't catch them, and then we really slowly replacing was taken and destroyed.
Basically, just since I lived near there, so my wife retired from there. Yes, it's teenagers didn't realize their silent alarm, thank goodness you caught them, but they took baseball bats to 12 screens, 12 different rooms. And just one was destroyed, just one damage.
And I have to tell you, so many people said that, and we said it helped me public. And we've been able to replace some of the staff, but we're very, very fortunate.
Thanks.
Anything else?
Any other question? What day next week is that purpose?
It's on Friday.
All right.
Yeah, can we go back to the slide that says in the reference to that, everyone wants to sign up. Use the QR code.
Maybe like, you know what to get. That's I think that's fun.
Any questions? Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more speaker, Alberta.
I don't need a microphone, okay? I keep checking for it, I was down, so. So you all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yes.
My family different texts, right? Okay, I'm on the foundation board as. I'm on the foundation board at Santa Ana College. And they asked me to come in and tell you what's going on at college. Okay, number one, we're number 2 in the state. Community college. We recognize that 54,000 students at college. 54,000 college, you know, college is different from or anything, it's right on the corner of the end of the. Okay? To top that off, there is a organization called Aspen, the Aspen Award. What the Aspen Award does is select 150 colleges throughout the entire United States. And reward them the best colleges in the US. We are selected for that award. And Intelligence.com, which is a higher education resource website, Santa Ana College, best community college in California. Okay, and our little city, our little community college. In addition to that, because of our achievement in serving the institution, we are thrilled to share incredible news that Santa Ana College pathway to law and legal studies program has now been approved for a bachelor's degree. Going through all the process, we have been selected thanks to our faculty members, Kelly Smith and Christine Robinson, and the Orange County Bar Association. What does that mean? A bachelor's degree, 10,500. So this is number 2. We already have occupational therapy, for the past 5 years now. Now we're being approved by another one, which went through. So we'll be offering 2 once we have, and because they have to check the other colleges to make sure we don't have a paralegal program. But if we just do, we go back. That's number 2. We are applying for 2 more. And 2 more. One of them is manufacturing engineering, and I think the other one is robotics. I think that's the students. So we are very looking at our reputation and looking at our successes and improving. We're looking at offering more bachelor's degrees to our students on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you should be very, very proud. Santa Ana College here in Santa Ana, the focus is now here. And they wanted to know how are you doing that? And we say our faculty, our students, and our community and help support. So give yourself a thing. November 2nd is a very popular day. A lot of things going on, but at Santa Ana College in Central Mall on November 2nd, 11 a.m., 1 p.m. We're having what we call our career and academic pathways camp discovery days. If you're not any students or you're looking at what going to be offered in these pathways, we invite you to come out. To come networking, you're going to meet the faculty, you're going to open up a lot. We're going to have a lot of people there, but we want to stop what's going on and also helping the students, also the children. We have them that are graduated, but they're still at home, don't know what they want to do. Bring them. We have to bring them by pulling them and screening and saying, you want food? You're coming to me. But November the 2nd, from 11 a.m. to 1. Okay. Our health science building. Remember that measure here that we told you we were looking to build the fund for that? It is now completed. Okay, and the community on January 10th at 4 p.m. we're going to have more information out there. We're inviting the community to come in and see this magnificent building. I mean, I was and I'm saying, oh my God, is that a real person or is that a dummy? You know, as far as the life scale, program. But we promised you that we were going to build a building that's going to help with the medical field. You're not gonna come and see exactly what we said, what your tax dollars and so on, that your students paid for. And look at it, if you've never been on the campus, you gotta see what else we did with all those funds measures. So please come on out, this is really, really exciting, okay? And one last thing, it is Halloween, right? We're all looking for different places for our kids, especially with the safety issue and candy. No skittles. Skittle. Okay, K-Way got in contact with me, since I reached out with me, then this Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. at Calvary Chapel, Smithsonian, Fairview, and MacArthur, K-Way between on the glove. Stands for God's love over, okay? And they're going to have a full bang. We have petting zoo, we have face painting, bouncy house, we have games, loads of kids, absolutely loads, ice cream, popcorn, entertainment, the whole thing. Last year we had 5,000 people. And so we have security, I mean, this place is very secure. We're not taking away from Santa Ana BD. We have our own private security. And so forth, because we know what's going on in the world. But we, you know, we take that very seriously. So, we have a very strong security force. We let everybody come out, and parents dressed in costumes. Last year, they dressed in costumes with their kids on one and had a great time. So once again, this Saturday, from 5 to 9 p.m. at Calvary Chapel, we set up Fairview and MacArthur. Fairview and MacArthur, please come out and bring your kids. And don't be a certain time, this is
I just wanted to say thank you to Santa Ana College for your partnership with Santa Ana Unified.
Yeah.
We're able to get like more students. For those that don't know, if you graduate from the Santa Ana High School, you can get automatically into Santa Ana College for free. And then that allows you to open the doors to Cal State Fullerton and UCI through a promise program. And then on top of it, the classes that you offer for our parents and for our community are excellent. At most of our schools, we offer classes like ESL or digital literacy classes for our parents. And they've all been excellent teachers that have been coming. And we've also been offering the GED. And because of the GED program that was brought to a school, even through the pandemic, 5 of our parents were able to graduate. Some of them graduated with their GED at Angel Stadium with all the Santa Ana College students. So they have a lot of exceptional programs. You want to learn more about computers, you want to have art classes for your mental wellness. They offer so many classes for adults, and we're very, very grateful that you partner with us. Thank you.
Absolutely, and that's at Centennial Park and our Centennial Institute Center. And that, but I mean, you have to understand, I mean, we have double-digit enrollment. All the other colleges around are negative. And so the governor said, representing what are you doing out there, you know, and we told them. And it's one of the students' relationship that the staff have to guide them, because once you step on, our commitment to you is that this is where your academic career begins. Once you're gone and you graduate, you can go on and be an Ant Feeder, Trojan, you can be an Icon, you know, anybody else. I don't know what's cool, whatever, you know. But where do you get to start? You've got it here, and that's a done always. And you ever pull up our Hall of Fame, not only our Hall of Fame, but our athletic hall of fame, who went to Santa Ana College? Oh, my goodness. Anyone do you have a question?
Lisa mentioned the Santa College Promise, and I actually was a participated in the SAC Promise, so I attended all Santa Ana Unified Schools, then I went to Santa Ana College, then I went to UC Irvine, and then I went to Harvard.
And you are masters. Yeah. Yeah. You got a grant for $5 million, a number years ago. We gave about $1 million to Cal State Fullerton and $1 million to UCI. And that program. So any of the Santa Ana students that came in first year, they transferred to Cal State Fullerton free. Transferred to UCI free. Because of that commitment we gave them, and they told them, okay, you know, you want this $1 million? You better accept our students and go to colleges and so forth. So I'm sorry, we're so excited and so much going on, you just don't know. And like I said, we have now increased school enrollment in several of the high schools around where they are also in high school, but they're coming to Santa Ana College to get, you know, to take college courses. So by the time they get through in 2 years, they have their associate's degree and transfer not as a freshman, but as what? They transfer as a junior, you know, with dual enrollment, so. Now, be proud.
I had a little bit of difference when I was doing the modern day BA for a week ago. I had college, at modern day high school. And much to my surprise, my alumni, Wayne State out of Detroit, was here looking for kids. And they were talking about the quality kids in Santa Ana, so they come all the way to Detroit, to California, to modern day in particular, to talk to Santa Ana kids about going to Wayne State. And big right for it is that they got it going, so they also cost of tuition, so they won't have to do that. They are getting kids, they have to get there. So, anyway, I just want to let you know that next meeting is going to be in November. And it's going to be on the have a date on it. Mark?
The 16th.
16th. Thank you. And we're going to be talking about the holiday safety, but also we're going to have Mike Garcia come talk about what's happening in the Franklin Pool area. Because letters have gone out, there's been a lot of people said, including myself. Because I have a condo with my daughter, and so they want condo, they want registration of ownership of all these records. And it's a little controversial to get it, but that's the thing why we're doing it, and what they hope to get out of it. And also any questions you have on myself, concern for security, all that data they want, and getting it supposed to be secure. We're going to have him here to talk about that.
If you haven't seen this, last 2 weeks, the council meeting, watch it, because it's all about that. You're gonna be surprised if you watch it.
And so, also we'll have our Thanksgiving basket, so we will, board members get together, put together our Thanksgiving basket, we wrap it off at that meeting. So, come to it, it's gonna be November 16th, Thursday, in this room. Okay, and with that, have a happy Halloween, we all is in there.
Thank you.
I didn't see you.
Yes.